Hey, how are you? So I wanted to have a little chit chat. Those of you who know me, I'm Lucy B, by the way. Those of you who've known me for a little while might have known that I've had quite an interesting relationship with food. From being very young, having eating disorders, to more recently, my body rejecting so many foods. A lot of it to do with the relationship I was in. My marriage turned really sour, and because of my environment, my body kind of reacted like it was being poisoned. But basically, my whole system rejected anything dairy and soy. So I became incredibly allergic to the dairy protein, which is also in soy, which is fine. So I kind of realised this was happening and stopped the dairy, which, you know what, I still don't eat now. And I don't want to eat, actually, because it's not great for bodies in general. After doing some research, but anyway, that's cool. And then the journey continued. And after I left my marriage, I was able to eat certain foods. It wasn't just dairy. I couldn't eat like cauliflowers. I had like a FODMAP diet, and even that was too much. I couldn't eat certain veggies. I couldn't eat certain fruits. I was on a very restricted diet. Every time I ate bread, I'd look like I was 12 months pregnant. Just a nightmare. Like I say, and that was, so when I left my marriage, I was doing intermittent fasting really helped, because I was always sort of getting all the crap out of my body in between eating. So that was really amazing. And then I was kind of looking for the answers outside, looking for reading books, reading articles, looking for the answers. And after my marriage sort of dissolved, and actually, I could start eating more again. I could even eat a bit of dairy, but again, I choose not to, because it's just not good for our bodies. It doesn't process it very well. So I started looking and asking my body. Now, depending on how I was feeling emotionally would depend on what my body wanted. So if I was feeling really crap, believe it or not, my body wanted to sort of succumb to that and actually eat chocolate and things like that, which would make me feel really bad. And also, what would also happen is when I felt really good and I was literally hitting my upper limit of how much goodness I could have, it would also try and bring me back down at heel. So I had to listen to my body and deal with these subconscious behaviors as well. And then more about, it must have been in the summertime, I did a fruit-only diet for about 2 weeks. And oh my goodness. Now, fruit is electric, right? Fruit is the only food that is electric. We are electrical beings, and we want to magnetize, and we want to attract and manifest whatever we want into our lives by eating electric food when we are electric, in order to magnetize and create energy and manifest into our world. It is really powerful. So I did this fruit diet and it kind of reset everything. So I did it for about 2 weeks, purely fruit, and I felt on fire. It was amazing. I then chose to bring other things in. Because that's what I felt like doing at the time. And that was fine and stuff like that. But what it did was it allowed me to eat things like cauliflower and avocados, and it's almost like I reset my food relationship, because I was just eating fruit. I was just eating pure electric raw fruit. It was incredible. So there's no touch to it, just fruit. And so now I can eat a lot more foods, but I actually don't want to eat even more food. So again, cutting out dairy. But then very recently, anybody who knows me knows I love a good steak and bacon, and I love it. And yet, more recently, I go to eat meat and I'm like, oof. It's really, really interesting. And it's not that I feel bad about it. It's just that, you know what, my body just doesn't want that, because I speak to my body. I ask my body what it wants. So before I go and sabotage it with some chocolate or some bread that makes me feel so ill, I go, why do you want that? And if it's because to bring, if truly, if you were there to, if you wanted to hurt me, or if I ask questions to my body asking, why do you really want this? And it answers me with something that's a subconscious belief that I don't really want to keep going, then I tap it out and I don't have that food. So I don't agree, and I don't believe that I have to put myself into a box of food. And I don't believe anybody should put themselves into a box. But when you truly listen to what your body desires, so my body now desires some really like tasty fruits and veggies and like juices and literally feeling alive with it. And believe it or not, okay, again, if you know me, you know that I wouldn't leave the house before I had 2 coffees. Most would know me with a coffee in hand, and I have only had in the last 2 weeks 2 coffees. Yeah, and I completely changed my life around. I don't teach Pilates at the moment. I haven't done that for some time, and I've changed that part of my business just for now. I'm really focusing on other parts of my business to really help people heal in this really uncertain time. I'm literally tuning into my body, asking it what it wants, and then giving it what it wants without judgment and without saying, well, this is what I am now. I'm not we've got raw food. I'm not doing raw food. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say I'm vegan, I wouldn't say I'm this, whatever it might be. What I'm doing is literally listening to my body without judgment. So if my body then wanted a massive hunk of meat, I give it a hunk of meat. Currently it doesn't, but I wouldn't judge myself if I did. Do you see what I mean? And so by tuning in to your body, asking it what it needs and what it needs in that moment. So what it needs this morning might be different to what it needs now. So tune in to, if you're feeling lethargic, what do I really need? The go-to would be sugar and caffeine when you're tired, right? Have you tried having like pure kale, mint, spinach, cucumber juice, a real green juice? Have you tried that? Because wow, that wakes you up. And it's about thinking about it differently, ignoring the programming, thinking about it differently. Will that make you feel good? Caffeine's great. I love coffee. But my body has been saying, you're all right. And I've been having to detox from it, so I didn't realize. But my kidneys were, part of my sore back was my kidneys literally allowing the caffeine to be stripped off with all of the goodness I'm eating. So I suppose it's like truly listen to your body about how it wants to move, how much sleep you need, what you are drawn to doing to heal yourself, because food is a healer, movement is a healer, therapy of some descriptions is a healer. So listen, tune into your body. How do you want to heal? There is not just one way, there are several ways, and pick the people who resonate with you to assist you in your healing journey. I do that. And when people come to me and I'm not the right person, I show them the other people who can help them. It's a truly wonderful journey to go on, this self-healing and listening to yourself, and I thoroughly recommend it. So if you want to ask any questions or reach out, come find me, reach out to me, and I will totally have a talk with where you're at and where you can possibly go forward in your healing journey. But talk to your body, listen to your body. It is so talking to you. Okay, with much love. Signing out, Lucy B.